This is video number 2 in my latest series, which is Overweight and Out of Shape, Where to Begin. Alright, this video we're going to talk about day 1 of your transformation, what you're going to need to establish and what you're going to have to do cardiovascularly. Alright, so let's get started on it. First thing you're going to need to do is, I want you to begin to drink a gallon of water a day. 1 gallon of water a day, each and every day. Okay, that doesn't mean a gallon of water here, a gallon of water there. Maybe miss a day, you don't quite get it. Another day you only get half that. Then another day you get a gallon of water, and then you say, it's not working. Well, it won't work that way. You need consistency, remember? That word, consistency. So every day, 1 gallon of water. Don't care how you get the water. Okay, I drink well water. I pretty much have a good idea of what's in it. It's tested regularly. There's several filters coming into the house, and I treat the water. So I pretty much know what's in it. Now, if you like your water right out of the tap, nothing wrong with that. If you live in the good old US of A, we're very fortunate to have the public water that we have. And there's nothing wrong with that fucking water. Drink it. If you want to buy a gallon of water, if it's more convenient because it's already in a gallon jug, already partitioned out in gallons, that's fine. Buy a bunch of them and take one with you in the morning when you leave the house. If you go out in the morning or whatever it is you do, if you stay home, whatever. Open it first thing in the morning, begin to sip it throughout the day, drink it throughout the day. As long as by the time you go to bed that night, that gallon is empty, you have succeeded. Now, why drink a gallon of water a day? Well, because I can assure you, you're probably not getting enough water as it is. The penalty of not getting enough water is body's going to latch on and hold on to water. Now, the body stores water in 3 different compartments. The one you don't want it to be in is subcutaneously. Subcutaneous means under the skin, and that's the one that you're going to see. That's the one that's going to make you look bloated, going to make you look soft and spongy-like. You can see I have a little bit of water in my face as it is right now. If you can't tell, you'll be able to tell when you see me, when I get my shit together and clean it up in the next couple of weeks. I won't look anything like this. Body will look totally different, face will look very different first. Okay, so you get the gallon of water going a day, and it's going to take you probably, average person, I found in the real world, it takes anywhere from, I'm going to say 9 to 13 days, it varies, before your body is going to accept that, okay, plenty of water coming in the pipeline here, constant flow of water. I can just flush it right all out and I don't need to hold any water because I know there's plenty more water coming tomorrow. Once your body realizes that, then you're going to see your skin look tighter. Your face is going to look tighter and leaner, not as puffy. Your skin's going to look not as puffy. It'll be noticeable, and you're going to see on the scale, you're going to lose that water weight. And how much is that going to be? Depends how big you are, but I've seen as much as 12 pounds. You weigh 12 pounds less in that period of time in 2 weeks, and I've seen as little as maybe 7. But like I said, it all depends how much water you're holding, but I guarantee you're holding some water that you don't want to hold. So get that gallon of water going. That's going to be 1 gallon of water every single day. Every day. You can't mess up. 1 gallon of water a day. Also, you need to get a really good multivitamin on board. Now, how much do you need to spend on a multivitamin? Do you need to get most expensive multivitamin out there? No. Do you want to get the cheapest thing? Probably don't want to get the cheapest thing either. It's kind of like your car. Do you put the cheapest gas you can get in your car, or do you give it a little bit of thought? Do you just go to the no-name, no-brand gas station and get the cheapest crap they have? If you do, I wouldn't advise that. I strongly wouldn't advise that, not even for your car. But if your car's just an old beater, gets you from point A to point B, when it finally gives up the ghost, you just get another old beater. If that's the situation, then compare that to your body. Maybe your car's, not an old beater. Maybe your car represents some manner of investment to you and you want to take care of it. Maybe you don't put the high grade in there, but you probably put the mid grade at least. Okay, again, compare this to your body. Okay, you can drive around in an old beater and you can put cheap gasoline in it, and then when it wears out, you can replace it. But you can't just replace your body. All right, and nobody wants to walk around in a beater for a body. So if your body represents an investment, which it should, get some decent vitamins. Get a decent vitamin. So get a decent multivitamin. I would say probably something along the lines of a sport type of vitamin, a vitamin that's more for an active person, as opposed to just a regular old vitamin out of the grocery store that may be geared more to just a typical American, because the typical American is overweight. Typical American is lethargic and just lays around and is fairly inactive. So that's not the case here, and that's not what you're going to be doing, and that's not who you are anymore, if you ever were. So get a decent multivitamin, get your gallon of water a day going. All right, now you've already got your heart rate monitor, right? You should. Okay, so strap on your heart rate monitor, and let's get the cardio going. How much cardio? Well, I want you to be able to do 2 20-minute sessions per week initially. 2 20-minute sessions per week. Okay, now what that means is you're going to look, you're going to Google, you're going to look on the treadmill or a piece of cardio equipment you have, or whatever you're using, and it's probably got a chart on it. If it doesn't, you can Google, and the chart is going to be, it's going to give you beats per minute of your heart, and it's going to give you a range from this amount to this amount is in the fat burning zone for your age group. It's arranged by age in accordance with age. It'll give you a range there. Within this range, you're burning, they're going to suggest you're burning body fat. Whereas if you go faster, you're not. You go slower, you're not. Not optimally. Within this range, you'll be optimal range for your age group for burning body fat. All right, is this going to be 100% perfect? No, but are you going to know the difference? No. In every case I've ever seen, it's as good a starting point as anywhere else. It will get you the results you're after, and we can tweak it as we go along, for the individual, as your conditioning improves or what have you, whatever it may be. So another way you can tell is when you're on this piece of equipment, your heart rate should be such that you could still have a conversation if you really wanted to, but it should be uncomfortable enough that you really wouldn't want to engage in much of a conversation. Okay, if that makes any sense. If it doesn't, once you get on there, you'll figure it out. You'll know what I'm talking about. Now, first time you get on there, when you get off, you're going to be dizzy. You will be dizzy. It's completely normal. When I don't do cardio for a long time, and I don't, because that way when I jump on there like I'm about ready to, it's a big zap to my system, and the fat comes off relatively easily, which you'll see too through these videos. So you're going to be dizzy. It's normal. When you get off of that treadmill or that piece of equipment, initially the first few times, you're going to feel really dizzy. So make sure you're steady and you're hanging on the side of the piece of equipment. Step off and support yourself. All right, don't just jump off it or think you're going to run upstairs or whatever it may be. Now, the time you spend warming up on that treadmill, that means the 1 or 2 minutes or however long it takes for your heart to get up to speed doesn't count. It's not part of the 20 minutes. The additional minute or two you may take to cool down and slow down and catch your breath after the 20 minutes, that doesn't count. As you're slowing your heart down, that doesn't count gradually. Okay, so warm up and cool down, that doesn't count. Now, if you get on there initially and you can't get anywhere near that 20-minute mark because it's not going to be easy, it won't be easy. Okay, now, and why do I even pick 20 minutes to begin with? Well, average person, your body wants to burn liver glycogen as its preferred source of fuel for any kind of endurance type of oriented exercise like this cardio will be. And a typical person, you're probably going to go through that liver glycogen. You'll probably exhaust that in, once you're in that fat burning zone, you'll probably exhaust that liver glycogen within anywhere from, I'm going to say, it's so different in everybody, maybe 12 to 16 minutes, maybe 10 to 14 minutes, somewhere in there. It's different for everybody, okay? Anyway, doing the 20 minutes, that assures us that you've got some fat burning on there, and it's going to be enough. It's enough to get things coming off. So when you first get on there, if you can't do the 20 minutes, then that week's not going to count. If it takes you a week just for you to become acclimated enough that you can hit 20 minutes, if that's the case, then that first week, which we're not really going to count, but you're still going to benefit from, we want you to do like 3 sessions, you know, like a Sunday, you know, Tuesday or Wednesday and one Friday or something like that. I don't know. However you want to space it out. Just try and space it out kind of evenly. And I'd prefer that you do this first thing in the morning when you get out of bed on an empty stomach. Okay? Not hard. Get your ass up a half an hour earlier. Go to bed a half hour earlier if that's what you got to do. But get up a half an hour earlier on the day you're going to do your cardio. And hopefully your machine is at your house. If it's at the gym, then you're going to have to go to the gym and account for all that. But if you've got a piece of cardio equipment, whichever piece you finally settled on, then you get yourself up, get on your piece of equipment, empty stomach, and do your cardio. You can drink all the water you want while you're on that machine. I advise you to do that. But otherwise, you should have pretty much an empty stomach after you've slept all night. I think that's ideal. First thing in the morning. Now, like I said, first week, if you jump on there and you can only do 10 minutes total and that's it, okay. All right, I'll dig that. Now, by the second week, you should be hitting that 20 minutes. It's not going to be easy. Now, it should go without saying, but I got to say it. If you have some kind of heart disease, if you have some kind of respiratory problem, if you have, I don't know, whatever may prevent you from being capable of doing something like this, I'm not trying to kill you. I've never seen this kill anybody, but, beginning to do some cardio. I've seen it save some people's lives, but you may want to consult your doctor first. I'd recommend that you probably do that. Consult your doctor, make sure you're fit enough to even take on this endeavor. Which your doctor's probably going to be thrilled that you're going to try and do this. Okay? So now, this is so full of benefits for your body and for your appearance and for your organs, your heart particularly, that I actually know a guy, not that I know of a guy or read of a guy I actually know. He was way overweight, and he'd had like a double bypass, and he was becoming diabetic. He got on a treadmill, he lost 150 some pounds within 11 months, and no signs of any pre-diabetes or anything like that. Okay, and in fact, the huge outbreak of diabetes in this country today, we're not talking about people that have it's a genetic issue or people that have a physiological problem where they can't produce. Their body just doesn't want to, their pancreas doesn't really produce insulin properly or something like that. We're not talking about any kind of genetic thing or something like that. I'm talking about people who later on in life develop diabetes, and in the great numbers it's happening now. Well, it's happening because people keep eating fucking garbage and they do not exercise. You can get away with, I'm not advising this, I want you to straighten your diet out, and there'll be another video describing to you what you should eat and pretty much when you should eat while you're doing this, okay? If you want to get optimal results. But when people are eating all this garbage, all this sugar and carbohydrates and crap, and they don't exercise, they won't do any kind of exercise, like I said, your liver holds glycogen. It can only hold so much glycogen. Muscles hold glycogen. That's where you get your pump from. Okay, that's the fuel the muscles use. It's the local glycogen in the muscle. But after that, once those reserves are full, then you're just you keep putting the sugar in and keep putting these carbohydrates in. You get the insulin response. There's nowhere else to put any of this stuff, so it gets stored as body fat. And you keep going, you're getting fatter and fatter, and then eventually you either become pretty much resistant, like you're almost immune to the effects of insulin, so now you can't even process any more of these carbs or sugars because your body's been so flooded with it, or basically, in a sense, you used up a lifetime of insulin in the years that you've been eating like this. And so that's where these people are becoming diabetic. Now, do you also realize this is reversible? That all they'd have to do is get their fucking ass on a piece of cardio equipment and they could straighten this all out. But for some bizarre reason, a lot of Americans would rather get so far into it that they're going to shoot insulin, right? As if they really had a genetic problem or really had a real disease. They're going to accept the one they've given themselves through their shit lifestyle and just keep on rolling. That's kind of, I don't want to seem callous, but it's pretty pathetic. I think it's pretty much a kick in the nuts to people that actually have diabetes and didn't do anything to deserve it, right? So get on your treadmill, get your cardio going, just like I've described. Like I said, first week, if you can't do the 20 minutes, then do a couple extra sessions and build up to that fucking 20 minutes. Okay, then second week, it's going to be your real earnest first week, 2 20-minute sessions a week once you can actually really do 20 minutes. And the time it takes you for your heart to get up to that rate, within that zone, that time doesn't count. If it's 1 or 2 minutes, then the cool down time doesn't count. Remember that. All right? And that's all I want you to do. That's going to get the fat coming off. Then when you stop responding to that, fat's not coming off anymore, then we step it up. We either elongate each session, make it into 25 minutes, or we leave it at 20 and we add a third 20-minute session. And such is the course we continue to take as time goes on. You lose some body fat, then you stop responding, you stop losing it, then we have to turn it up again. And we're going to elongate it or we're going to add another, but we're not going to keep adding them, we're going to make them longer. Okay, and because we don't want to be doing cardio every day, right? We might get there sooner or later, near the end, maybe, but we're going to try to avoid that. We want to milk every single session for all we can get. Okay? Other thing that I want you to do is, from now on, if you're a daytime person, whether you're a stay-at-home person or if you get up and go to a job or you go to work outside the home or you work in the home, whatever you do, say if you get up in the morning and it's daylight or about to be daylight, you're up most of the daylight hours, and then at night you go to bed like most people and you get up and do it again, then I want you to cut those carbohydrates off at 6 p.m. 6 p.m. onward, no carbohydrates anymore. You're finished for that day. You get up tomorrow, you can have some after your cardio if tomorrow's a cardio day. No more carbohydrates. I want you to begin to taper your carbs. That means heavier in the morning. Whatever carbs you're going to have them in the earlier hours and start to taper them off. You can still have some later, but taper them down and be aware that by 6 p.m. you're finished. That's it. There are no exceptions. Remember, consistency. Consistency. Turn the carbs off by 6 p.m. You're finished with your carbs for the day. All right, so what can you have? Well, you can have your protein on a bed of lettuce. Be your protein of choice is tofu, which certainly not my protein of choice right now, but or if it's fish or chicken or whatever it may be, you can tear it all up and put it on a bed of lettuce, or you can put it on some kale, or you can put it on baby spinach leaves, or any of that sort of thing. You can have all that kind of shit you want. Okay, so that'll hopefully fill you up and satisfy you in the evenings. Now, if you just can't give in, do this shit without giving in to temptation, you're sabotaging it. Okay, so take it seriously. Make sure you can commit to this and do it, and it will work. It will work. If you do cardio at home, like I've said before, most convenient, easiest thing, in my opinion, to do. If you go outside the home to do your cardio, then you're going to have to work your schedule so that you can fit that in also. You're going to have to allot time for that. But I recommend doing it at home. I think it's the easiest, most convenient thing to do. You're more likely to do it that way. And that's about all there is to that. You do your cardio, you drink your gallon of water, you take your multivitamin, you wear your heart rate monitor so you know where you're at, when you're doing your cardio, and you cut those carbs off at 6 p.m. Now, if you do go to the gym, I advise you to make sure and keep it clean. Wash your hands. Gyms are notoriously germy places. There's not much can be done about it. Even clean gyms are germy places. Why? Well, because, people go back and forth to the bathroom. People come back, maybe wash their hands. Maybe they don't wash their hands. Maybe they don't wash their hands well. They come back and they touch equipment, weights or machines or whatever, cardio machine or whatever they're touching. Hands all over it. They cough in their hand. They sneeze in their hand. They sneeze on the machine. They cough on the machine. Get the picture? Then the next 100 people come back behind them, do the same exact thing. So all these germs. It's just a huge orgy of fucking germs. Most gyms, decent gyms, I know my gym, Gold's in York, southern York, they have stations conveniently located all throughout the gym with antiseptic spray and towels, paper towels, disposable towels. So what I do is every piece of equipment I'm about to use, I don't assume that the person before me wiped it down, because 50% of the time they didn't, so they've sweated all over it and every other thing. I'll spray the towel, I'll wipe it all down, do my thing. When I'm finished, I'll wipe it down again for the next person out of just respect, proper etiquette, and I will also spray my hands off and wipe my hands down with a towel, throw it away. I'll move on to the next machine, I'll do the same shit. Now, when I'm finished, first thing that I do when I'm finished, wash my hands and then get out. That's what I need you to do. As soon as you're finished, wash your hands, get the hell out. Bear this in mind. Okay, next thing, one more comment about the gym you join. There's only one chain of gyms that I really, really despise, and that's the gym that seems to despise guys like me. So, need I say more? This is supposed to be a judgment-free zone. They seem awful motherfucking judgmental for a judgment-free zone, don't they? Seem pretty judgmental to me. So what's going to happen if you join there, you invest your money there, and you support that gym, and then you get into shape? They're going to throw you the fuck out? You don't look like the rest of us anymore, you're different, get out. Okay, see where I'm going with this? Next thing is, most of these gyms are so inexpensive that they are completely gym-packed, and the percentage of assholes and knuckleheads in a place like this is going to certainly be higher than a lesser populated, more, a gym that costs a little bit more. Okay, I'll tell you, there are very few in the gym I go to. Very few. It's just not a welcome disposition there, and everybody just seems very friendly, and everybody's there to get the job done. And that's the environment you want. You want to train around other people that have similar goals or have goals, and they're there to take care of business. They're there to fucking get on with it. All right? We're not there to eat Tootsie Rolls and ring lunk alarms and, boast on how non-judgmental we are, but yet judge a guy like me because I've gone too far. That's, I don't walk around pointing out people that I think are, judge their physique. Why you walk around judging mine? It's a little hypocritical. But that kind of place, again, it's just like the car analogy. All right, you take it to the cheapest place, a few dollars more, you can take it to a real gym where you actually have people and members in that gym that want to be there because they have a goal. They're trying to accomplish that goal. You're around a huge pool of knowledge. It's much more easier to become inspired and motivated through people. I'll tell you, there's one guy at Southern York now. His name's James, so it's easy enough for me to remember. He's in his 60s. And guy's got, more than a few extra pounds right now. And he knows it. But this guy, I've seen this guy over the past couple of months, he trains so hard that he is soaked with sweat. His shirt is frigging soaked. I saw him in there, he just got in the gym or whatever, and he was sitting down on a stool. And I walked in and I walked up and introduced myself. I had to shake his hand. I said, man, I gotta shake your hand, dude. You're one of the hardest working individuals in here, and man, I respect that, man. I just want to tell you that. It's motivating. So it's very motivating when people get in there and do what they got to do. If you're not sweating, you're not doing anything. Fitness isn't pretty, okay? You're going to sweat. If you're afraid to sweat, you're barking up the wrong tree here. So let's get sweating. Get on your cardio. Get your gallon of water a day going. Get your multivitamin. Make sure you've got your heart rate monitor on. Get your ass on the treadmill now. Let's make it happen. Let's get going. I don't care what time it is. You viewed this video. If you've got your cardio piece of equipment sitting in the house, get your ass up, look in the mirror. If you're not happy with the way you look, get down there or in that room or wherever that is and get on the equipment and see what the fuck it feels like. Become familiar with it. Shake its hand. Get to know it. Okay? If you don't get your 20 minutes, I know it's not first thing in the morning now for most people. Doesn't matter right now. This is your first attempt. All right? You won't believe how good you will feel afterwards just because, hey, I did it. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm not going to tell you it feels good while you're doing it. It sucks. But when you get off of it, you're going to feel good. You're going to feel good about what you're going to look yourself in the mirror and say, I'm doing it. And then it's small steps to the moon. It's consistency. Every time, the more times you can look in the mirror and honestly say, I'm doing it. All right, that's one time. Then it's another one. Then it's another one. Then it's another one. And this keeps going. And before you know it, guess what? Everybody's saying, what are you doing? You look different. You look great. You're looking better. What are you doing? And then the only other thing I want you to do is, from day one, I want you to take a picture before you start doing anything. One from the front, one from the back. One from the back is very important because you never see yourself from behind, and there's going to be a lot of stuff going on there. Okay, your shoulders, your back, your waist, your hips, your butt, your back of your legs, your calves. There's a lot going on there that you're not going to see. Back of your arms. Okay, you live in the body, you see it all the time, up close and personal. You're maybe not going to notice the change as much. Since you never see your back, that's going to appear more dramatic to you because the change will be so gradual but consistent. So every 2 weeks, you take a reasonably revealing picture, similar clothes or similar lack of clothes or dress in each picture. One from the back, one from the front. Nobody gets to see them. They're your pictures. It's you. Don't look at them and feel disappointed. Don't look at yourself and say, man, I hate the way I look. Okay, then do something about it, but you don't hate you. Let's not get it confused here. Okay? That's the shell you live in. That's what you're driving right now. So you fix it up. All right? You do a little body work, you do a new paint job, you fix it up. But it's not you. You are inside of it. All right? So make sure you got that very clear to yourself. You're inside of it. All you're doing is doing a little body work, waxing it up a little. All right? Making it shine a little bit. That's all. And you're only doing it to your specification. All right? Some people drive Mustangs. Some people drive, GMCs. Some people want a pickup truck. Some people drive Hondas. And they all, nobody argues over which is, people think that they like what they drive, but that doesn't mean, that somebody's a fool for driving something else, right? Everybody doesn't universally condemn these people for driving that vehicle. They're only one kind of vehicle. No. They make many kinds of vehicles because there's an S for every seat. And our body types and the way that we view that is much more complex. And there's an S for every seat. So there's beauty everywhere. All right, first thing you got to do is allow yourself to grow inside. Okay? This is just the outside. This is the shell. This is all smoke and fucking mirrors. This isn't anything. This is all food for worms one day. It all ends up the same place, in the fucking ground. Right? So, can't be that centered on this. But it's just like your car. You want to fix it up, you want to paint it, whatever, that's what you're doing. So one picture from the front, one picture from the back. Nobody has to see it but you. But look at it as if you're a third party. Don't put yourself in it that hard. You want to be motivated. You want to feel good about progress. You want to be driven. All right? But don't look at it and be bummed out about it or anything. Okay, it's got a couple dents, whatever it has, you're going to fix it. All right? Every 2 weeks, take another such pictures. That way when you begin to question if you're making any progress, really, or if you're making enough, you lay these things out, these 2 week intervals, and you look. And you're going to be surprised and you're going to be impressed. So let's get it going. Let's start right now. Don't put it off. I don't care what you're doing. Stop what you're doing. Close this video out. Turn this shit off. And get down there on your treadmill. Do your thing, man. Or get on your elliptical. Or get on your recumbent bike. Or whatever you got. Just fucking do it. Okay? Do it for you. All right? It's just the body. It's just the outside. It's just what you're driving around in. But if it's going to make you happy, if it's going to make you feel better, it will run a little better, then go ahead and let's take care of it. All right, so other than that, have a great evening. Please push the subscribe button, comments, questions, whatever. I'm available for all this discourse. Just send me, contact me, email, whatever the case may be, and I'll try and get back to you. All right, take care. Have a great night. And I'll talk to you again shortly. And next time up, we're going to talk about what you should eat, when you should eat it. A little more detail. All right, that's it for now. Have a good night.